Vet visits aren't fun for anyone. Your dog will growl and grump the entire time it's there, and you'll be anxious for your canine companion while a doctor is examining it. While an overwhelming majority of people are open and welcoming to the idea of having a pet, only a fraction of them take their pets in for regular veterinary checkups. What happens if you skip an appointment or two, or three? You risk exposing your dog to conditions where it'll require emergency treatment. What happens when your dog stops urinating? Is it fatal? Can you stop your pet in an emergency while you wait for the vet? Here are 10 signs that your dog needs help and you should call the vet ASAP. Number 10. When your pet stops peeing. Not many pet parents, even some of the most well-meaning ones, take an active interest in their pet's urinating and defecating habits. While one might think it's understandable, it's actually irresponsible to ignore telltale signs in your dog's routine habits that could be indicative of some severe health problems. If your dog hasn't been urinating like it normally does, then you might want to consider getting them to the vet immediately. Not urinating properly or being in visible pain while urinating is a sign of urinary obstructive diseases, particularly kidney stones. The obstruction causes an inflammation and backflow of urine, which is toxic waste your body wants to get rid of, and your dog will flinch or cry out if ever it has to urinate. If left ignored for long, your dog might become incontinent and develop several life-threatening conditions. Number 9. Rapid weight loss. No, your diet supplements and the balanced nutritional food you're giving your dog isn't helping if your dog seems to be dropping pounds rapidly. While you have an obligation to keep your dog healthy, you shouldn't celebrate weight loss unless you can accurately determine that it has happened naturally. Rapid weight loss, that is, a loss of over 10% of their body weight within a month or so, is indicative of the most dangerous underlying condition of them all: cancer. Malignant cells have a rapid growth potential and therefore overtake cellular resources. Your natural cells die, and your cancerous ones thrive. If your pet has lost an astonishing amount of weight in a relatively short amount of time, you might want to schedule an appointment with the vet immediately. Number 8. Hard, swollen abdomen. A hard, swollen abdomen can be indicative of several conditions such as constipation, but constipation has long been believed to be relieved with some at-home treatments. Could it be anything besides constipation? Yes. A common condition known as gastric dilation and volvulus or dog bloat is a condition manifested with a hard abdomen, an inability to vomit, pacing, and an overflow of saliva. The condition is the first step into a long list of conditions that impair your dog's immune system and ultimately prove to be fatal. Number 7. Unusual moods. Instead of calling your dog a bad dog when it's growling and barking in the middle of the night, you might want to go up to them and check to see if they're in any pain. All dogs have to verbally communicate with us through barking. Just because your dog is being loud doesn't mean they're being disobedient. Unusually loud barking in the middle of the night or unprovoked barking in the middle of the day could be a sign that your dog is trying to tell you it's pain. Dogs have a remarkable threshold for pain, and if they're in a situation where they have to cry out because of the pain, then something sinister is probably going on. Number 6. Rapid hair fall. How often have you had to collect off dog hair from your couch since you first got your canine companion? Odds are probably too many times to count. Dogs, the ones with longer hair, will definitely shed their coats at a much faster pace than humans will lose hair. However, if they're losing hair in clumps and you can visually see bald spots forming on parts of their body, then something is gravely wrong. This could be a sign of multiple conditions such as bacterial or viral infections, allergic reactions, or cancerous lesions. These changes are often associated with inflamed patches of skin, itchiness, and increased bleeding. Your pet might not have the right words to tell you it's in pain, which is why you need to be extra cautious when examining them. Number 5. Exposure to toxins. There are 3 categories of what your pet can ingest: healthy for consumption, safe for consumption, and fatal if consumed. The third category includes several but not all human foods, medications, and toxins. If your pet ingests any of the following, you might want to rush them to a vet before their condition worsens: chocolate, xylitol, tulip buds, avocados, slug bait, painkillers, grapes, raisins, and pesticides. In this regard, it's also important to educate yourself over what is safe for consumption for your pooch and what absolutely is not. For example, did you know bread was safe for canine consumption? On the other hand, raisins are vehemently bad for them. Number 4. Loss of balance, tilting their head. What happens when your dog lies down and tilts its head towards the ground? You probably think it means absolutely nothing. Maybe they're comfortable in this position. Maybe they're playing around. What's the worst that could happen? An ear infection. That's the worst that can happen if your dog is lying down with its head tilted. Your ear contains vestibulocochlear fluid in the inner portion of it. This fluid is responsible for maintaining balance. If your dog has an inner ear infection, it'll probably disrupt the normal state of the fluid and your dog will lose its balance. This is, however, the first step out of many ear infections. If your dog is exhibiting any of these signs, it's best to get them to a vet immediately. Number 3. Coughing, vomiting, or diarrhea, or all three. Dogs throw up. They cough every now and then, and they are prone to getting diarrhea once every so often. All of this is normal. What isn't normal is that your canine companion develops severe diarrhea, has vomited thrice in the last hour, and has been coughing all day. These are signs you should be wary of. Why? Because notwithstanding whatever caused it, these signs can result in a multitude of other signs. For example, vomiting can lead to dehydration, and so can diarrhea. Coughing is indicative of either something being lodged into their windpipe, an upper respiratory tract infection, or even a cancerous lesion. For young puppies, these signs are indicative of a very serious and deadly ailment: parvo. Parvo is often seen in young puppies and has been described as one of the leading reasons for premature death in dogs. Don't take your dog's health lightly. Take them in for regular checkups. Number 2. Lack of energy or lethargy. Why did your once active dog suddenly retreat to becoming a puddle of fur that's always asleep or disinterested in playing? Could this be a sign of disinterest in playing or something else bothering them? It is prudent to be able to tell the difference between what is stressing your animal out during playtime and creating a safe environment for them, or for you to be able to tell the signs of them being sick or in pain. In which case, you need to take them to a vet immediately. But how can you differentiate between the two? If your pet is uninterested in playing, you can try playing other games with it to see if the problem was either the game or the setting. If your pet is still unresponsive to any stimulatory behavior, then it probably is in pain and can't get itself to play whilst being in pain. For young puppies, however, wanting to sleep day in and night isn't that uncommon. However, you'd still need to be prudent. Number 1. Licking its paw excessively. You'd invariably find a couple hundred compilations of young puppies licking their paws. This is common behavior seen across all canines. Licking their paws stimulates endorphins or feel-good hormones. However, what if your pet won't let its tongue rest? What then? This might be the dog's own palliative treatment of relieving pain. If your dog is licking its paw excessively, then it might be trying to relieve itself from an inflammation or a splinter that's causing its pain. Look at your pet's routine habits, observe them, and memorize them. Then notice shifts in these patterns. It's important that you're a responsible pet parent. Just because your dog can't verbally tell you that it's in pain doesn't mean that it isn't trying to let you know. Alright, comment down below if you learned a thing or two about your dog today, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to INFORAMA, and we'll see you in the next one.